This conference will now be recorded.
8:30. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. We're at our weekly meeting of the supervisor at the courthouse. It's available by meeting also and recorded for future watching. We have an agenda in front of us. Have a motion to approve the agenda. Move to approve the agenda. The motion is there second. I'll second. Any other? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approve the minutes of the September 17th meeting and claims. I'll move. We have a motion for September 17th meeting and claims. Is there a second? Second. Any other discussion?
Roll call, Todd,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Sydney,
Aye.
County attorney, general discussion.
I don't have anything to talk about.
Okay, perfect.
I have one question. What, like we sell the Cap Parker property over there, I've had people inquire about it. What procedure do we do for that?
Are you talking about the Cap Art property?
Yes.
Well, there's different procedures. The board's gonna have to decide, at some point, what you'd like to do with it. You have different options. So this is gonna take, there's more to this consideration than what I'm gonna say here. But, the county cannot, and I've done some research into this recently, the county is not gonna be able to, for example, not that anybody suggested this, I'm just running down a litany of things. County's not gonna be able, for example, to just gift it. Okay?
Yep.
Not gonna be able to do that. The reason I bring that up is I can remember before when we were doing the, trying to get, that lawsuit with the petition, for abandoned property, and there was some discussion about what the county would have to have a plan of what to do with it once they got it. There was some discussion about, allowing it to go here or there. That might have been acceptable in that circumstance. Here, county's not gonna be able to just gift it. However, the county does have some control over if the county were to decide to sell it. The county does have some control over that. Now, you will frequently, I don't know about frequently, but sometimes you will hear somebody say, well, county needs to dispose of that by like sealed bids or public auction or something. That is definitely one way. That does not necessarily have to happen. Okay? It's fairly common way for that to happen. And a lot of times the county will do that because they want to make sure that they're not open to some argument of, oh, you're giving stuff away for less than fair market value, stuff like that, right? So, I mean, that's not a bad way to do it. But, government entities and counties dispose of property, fairly often without always doing it, through a public bidding process. You do have to set it for hearing. You do have to give notice to the public, and you do have to do all that whenever a county disposes of real property. Here is here's a concern that has been shared with me by a member of the public who has done that. But I thought it was valid. and this is just me talking as a citizen now, not as county attorney, okay? Not as attorney, this is just me as a citizen. Some thought has to be given, I think, as a citizen, because I don't think the board wants to get in a situation where somebody ends up with that property where it ends up back in the same hands it was before. I'm not saying that could happen. Well, it could happen. I'm not saying it will happen, but it could happen, depending on how this is done. You know what I'm saying? Now, so with that, I've given this quite a bit of thought and quite a bit of research. But ultimately, you know, the board as policymakers needs to decide kind of what they would like to have happen, right? I mean, sometimes maybe just this thought, you know, this isn't the kind of thing that can be, nobody suggested this either. This is just me saying, this is not the kind of thing that can be discussed about in closed session or anything like that. So, and I'm not saying this is the kind of thing that, you know, we all need to be secretive about, because we certainly should not in a subject like this. But each of you individually, then it'll have to be discussed at a meeting sometime, just needs to get some thought as to what you'd like to happen. Just kind of start there and then decide whether that's something that can happen. Possibility, I'm not saying this is a good idea, bad idea, good idea, I don't know, is you can consider, you know, sometimes leasing, you know, the property. You know, somebody might say, well, what would be an advantage of that, right? I mean, the county might be thinking, well, we're really wasn't getting into the business of this, so having to keep this property, and I'm not suggesting that you do, but, you know, that's an option that could be considered. Now, there's certain formalities that have to go along with that as well, leasing, right? You still have to do notice requirements, things like that, but it's an option. So if somebody were to say to me, Murphy, why are you saying all this? And I would say, well, just because I have a little concern about where that property could end up. So
I've just had some people inquire to me about
yeah,
buying it, one person
well,
wants to build there. You know?
Oh, well, see, that's,
You know, I mean, that's one person.
well, that's good.
Yeah, you're right. If you do sealed bids, can't you do sealed bids and have the right to refuse or reject, like, if they're not? I don't, I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if that's.
Not that, there are ways you can do that.
Yeah, and you can pick and choose, you know, if you're, I don't know.
I mean, you know, you definitely cannot, and nobody would want to do this. I mean, you know, or nobody should want to, give any kind of preferential treatment, like, oh, I favor this person or this person. And that, I know that's not what, none of you are suggesting that. I'm not either. But just as a practical matter, nobody asked me to do this, right? I just did it on my own as county attorney because I thought this was probably going to come up, obviously, and I also wanted to kind of know myself. So I spent a fair amount of time doing research on this. And so I'm happy to talk with any of you at any time. If we're going to do it as a group, need to do it at a meeting, I'm happy to discuss with, any one of you at a time. Obviously, one thing I'm also trying to be very, very careful of is if I talk to one of you, we can't get in a situation where then I talk to Todd and And then I go to Jim and discuss it, and then before you know it, I have to go to Mark and discuss it, because you get into that kind of a walking quorum kind of thing. I'm very careful of that. I don't, it's against the law, and plus I don't want to circumvent the public out of this. So I try to be very, very careful of that, but I am perfectly willing to, if somebody says, hey, I want to ask you some questions. Thrilled to do it, give you my thoughts.
Very good.
I don't know if that really answers your question, Mike. I'm being a little bit vague, and I'm being a little bit vague on purpose.
Yeah. I've just had inquiries and,
Well, that's,
I don't know that the
That's-
county needs to keep the property, do we? I mean,
no, you guys are the policymakers.
I can't see a benefit to the county for keeping it.
Mr. Horgan,
Well, if you're worried about control of it, make it a public park or a public shop, county shop or something, or if somebody's gonna take it away from you. Little town could use a nice parking.
So, yeah, I mean, and that's an excellent point. Mike, you're saying that somebody wanting to buy it, build, and that's a good use of property too. So,
Right.
With that being said, I'm not gonna insert myself into what you ought to do. You guys are the policymakers.
It also really needs to be on the agenda before we start discussing a lot of details. I mean,
Yeah.
I appreciate your information.
Yeah.
Before we start getting specific, this needs to be an agenda item.
It would. I mean, me discussing it here is, okay, because I'm just kind of, but yeah, no action can be taken or anything. Jim's right.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw it out there so
Nope,
somebody could think about
Good
it.
point, but that's why we're all here together, is sometimes kind of make sure we don't go too far off. It's a good point, so.
I just had inquiries, so I thought I'd bring it up, so.
Okay.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, bet.
Sheriff. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I have July fees for you this morning in the amount of $5,294.97.
Good. You have a motion to approve the sheriff's fees?
Move to approve the sheriff's report.
You have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
Roll call, Jim,
Aye.
Sydney,
Aye.
Right?
Todd.
Probably the only other thing that I want to update you on is I'm getting forward to getting the Tahoe repaired, so that means purchase of a transmission. Mike out at County Conservation offered to have their mechanic install it for us and save labor costs there. He just completed one for them last week, so I need the Tahoe back on the street, and I can't count on Carl Chevrolet or Chevrolet in general to do anything for us, so that's gonna be an expense. Cost of transmission, but we'll save labor costs if the county can do the install, so. Other than that, that's all I have. Any questions?
Couple of calls on that 465th in Kirkwood.
Yeah.
I know we discussed it before, but do you have any recommendations of what can be done up there?
Well, in this case, the rumble strips work, the stop sign worked, the driver of the garbage truck stopped, but then didn't yield, entered into the intersection, didn't see the sign. So it wasn't like, the intersection was blown through or a stop sign, was run, because it wasn't. She stopped. And I don't know what was going on in the cab of the vehicle at the time, or why she pulled out and didn't see the eastbound semi. So the lighted stop sign worked and the rumble strips worked. I can't really address driver distractions and then failing to yield.
Bring it
But
up.
I am open to anybody's suggestions.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Well, I don't know what more you can do,
When you pull the stop bar, you have, the stop sign is a location, the stop bar is another location stop. And when you pull that stop bar, there is clear view in either direction. You can stop and take your time and look.
Yeah.
So I don't know either. I looked at it yesterday and I'm like, I don't know what else we can do.
I just thought I'd bring it up.
You know,
I know it's,
More calls this week on that than anything.
Yeah.
They hear all kinds of stories that they didn't stop and
Sure.
move through it and.
Yeah, well, the facts of the case are that she did stop at the stop sign. Whatever was going on in the cab was distracted in such a way that she pulled out and didn't see the semi. The only other thing I can think of is like a flashing red light, above the intersection. But that's, I'd have to defer to Rich's expertise on that. I'm just looking for things that draw people's attention to the fact that they need to stop when there's an intersection coming.
Yeah, it's a difficult, I know that there are locations that have advanced warning for the through traffic. Well, that really doesn't help either. If you've got advanced warning that there's through traffic, you're still in your through traffic speed knowing somebody could, but when you see somebody stop, you don't expect them to pull out because you can see them. So I really don't know what the answer is either. We'll probably have that discussion in our October safety action plan when we have that come through, but that might not even be an intersection right now. So.
Anything that the board wants to put there that isn't there now?
Well, that's, everything's there that can be there, I feel.
The fact that they stopped, means that all of our provisions are working. It's what they do after they stop that we can't control.
Overpass.
Overpass.
It is.
Yeah,
Floyd, they put an overpass.
yeah.
We can, and I was going to say roundabout too, we can make ridiculous comments in regards to that. It's unfortunate when something bad happens there, but as Rich said, there's a stop ahead sign, there's rumble strips, there's a stop sign that's flashing, there's a stop bar sitting there. I mean, what are you gonna do here?
Blowing through the intersection and stopping and then proceeding are really two different actions. One is you probably don't see anything. The second one is people get in the habit of be up and stop and then go without even thinking that they should probably look for traffic. You see it a lot, just fine. In any county riding anywhere, you see a lot of people roll through stop signs. You don't see them stop, and it becomes a habit, and then habits are great.
Do some brainstorming.
Yeah, I'm open to any ideas. I certainly don't like to go on those calls, so no. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Department head discussion.
Go ahead. Go.
Hi.
All right.
So you all got an email from either the Recorders Association or ISAC regarding fee modernization. I have been our district's representative for the past year on the legislative committee, so I've been a part of this since, I think, November last year. We started meeting in December regarding this fee increase. We've reworked it several times. It finally passed our association vote during ISAC last month. It was nearly unanimous. So basically this is something that's been a long time coming. The fees haven't changed since 1984, and just for a little bit of context, I wasn't even born yet. It seems like kind of a jump. It's going from $7 for the first page and $5 for each additional page, which is what it is right now, to just a flat $10 per page. It's going to make it easier for everyone to calculate. And then the breakdowns, if you have questions on where the money's going to go from there, I can go over that too. But if we followed the rate of inflation, it would probably be closer to like $20. So honestly, it's not that big of a jump. Could be higher, but this is something that's going to make our offices a little bit more self-sufficient and less dependent on the general fund. And I mean, most of the recorders are all for it. The only person that voted against it had an issue with the fee breakdowns. But do you guys have any questions on it at all?
I think it's long overdue.
Yeah, I think so. I'll agree. Long overdue.
Yeah, I mean, the cost of our office to keep it running, it's just going up as far as all of the electronic stuff and computers, and like our costs are going higher, but our fees aren't what we charge. So, I mean, yes, it's a long time coming, but I guess I just wanted to know if you guys had any questions on it.
When will that go into effect?
Well, right now, we have passed it, the ISAC board has passed it, and they're going to, take it to, I think it's going into session in January.
Okay, so a few months.
Yeah, overall, I mean, hopefully it gets passed this coming year, but, yeah. It's just something that I'm starting to talk to everybody about, just to give everyone a heads up that it's hopefully coming down the pipeline. And if there are any questions about it, I'm happy to talk about it, so.
So if the legislature, are they the last to make the decision?
I'll be honest with you, Todd, I don't know the entire process. I need to watch Schoolhouse Rock again. But we do have 2 representatives for our association, for the recorders, and they work with Iowa Land Records, and there's a woman named Census who is a lobbyist for us. And those 3 go down to the Capitol and they work on it. So I'm talking to you guys. I'll be talking to legislators and other stakeholders, so.
Okay, so the reason I say that, is there any, would it be any help if we reached out to our legislatures and said that? Just
So.
basic, long overdue, it's.
Well, I had a meeting with a few people from Iowa Land Records last week and a couple other recorders in our district. Jane Bloomingdale was our representative. So they just wanted us to talk to her. Teresa in Worth County, she's the Worth County recorder. She's actually close to Jane, and she said that Jane's already on board with it. So she's not gonna need a whole lot of communication from all of us. It's just, I guess, reaching out to her to let her know that, yeah, we are in support of it, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna need to talk to a senator, because Wayland's not in anymore, correct?
Mhm.
So we'll have to wait until after the election to figure out who that's gonna be. And I also don't know if that person's gonna be voting on it or not. That's all stuff that I still don't understand yet. But, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to reach out to Jane, I'd really appreciate it. I mean, the more backing that we have on it, the easier it'll be to get it to go through. But, yeah. You guys have any questions on
Sounds like a good deal.
it? I agree. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other department?
All right, so we had our meeting last night, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on a few things. So as you guys know, I've been interviewing for the assistant position, and so I did have a really good response from our advertisements and that sort of thing. So I will be looking to make a decision sometime soon. I have one more interview left, and then hopefully I can be able to make a decision. There's a lot of good applicants, and so I think I have it narrowed down to 3 at this point. So I just need one. So. The official candidate will be on our October meeting, so the October 28th board meeting. Just also wanted to let you guys know that our state award has ended, so those funds have been spent. Our contract will soon be ending with the state at the end of September, and then our program continues. Our initial goal is to offer the $2 per hour wage enhancement, so that is, we're on target to provide that going forward for the next 3 years. I will probably be visiting with you guys at some point as far as some of your funds to go towards that program. So just need to keep that in mind. I think it's like December, January, it's your guys' budget time to be talking to you guys about so helping support the child care wage enhancement, child care solutions fund.
First part of January.
January, okay. Just also wanted to let you guys know that Homeward Inc., which if you're not familiar with, it's not part of NIACOG, they are their own COG, but they are offering a construction loan program to economic development groups. So for instance, I could apply, I could partner with a private developer and we could apply for a loan. It's low interest, it's 3% for 12 months or until a property is sold. So just like another option for us, as sometimes those developers reach out to me for some sort of assistance and stuff, just something else that we can maybe rely on to help them. On October 3rd, the Nyack Papa John Center will hold their 4th biannual Papa John Entrepreneur Gala. And so I don't know if you guys saw, but there's 2 finalists in Mitchell County. So we have Pop Excavating and then also Picard Ullman as finalists. So we're excited about that. I have one info lot, which I gotta come back in a little bit. You guys have any questions or anything?
On the childcare funds, were you able to disperse all the?
We were, yep, it's been a lot of work, but we got all of the funds have been spent for that state award. And we only had to use about $5 from our other funds, so that's good news. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, we didn't really like how we had to spend it so quickly, but we did it. And I guess I look forward to supporting the childcare solutions, stuff, but maybe just a little bit less calmer on our end with assistance with that. So all other bonuses, wage enhancements, they've ended. So it's a $2 per hour for those employees needing like a more livable wage.
Okay.
And that's just for the licensed centers.
And licensed home, too, right?
Yeah, we need to decide what we're gonna do for the registered in-home providers. As of right now, we haven't made any decisions as to, we want to include them, but we just don't know how much at this time, so that's something that we need to work on.
They were included in this past
Yep.
year, though, correct?
Yep. And it sounds like, our board wants to include them, so it's just a matter of figuring out, looking at the budget and figuring out like what we can do for them. Any other questions? All right, I'll be back in a few minutes.
I do have something, Mark. So,
Yes.
Rachel, do you want to put on the agenda for next week, discussion of possible action on ARPA funding request?
Yeah, I already have it.
Great.
Yep.
And then question to the board, do we want to start talking about this Kephart? I keep calling it the Kephart property, but do we want to start talking about the property that Mitchell County owns in New Haven? We can just start, we don't have to do action, we can just discussion, we can start throwing things around and,
I put that on next week agenda.
yeah, I think that'd be good. Okay.
Any other department head? County engineer update.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just a couple things. I think Lime Kiln, they're gonna try to pave that this week sometime. I haven't gotten a firm date, as of when this week. And we discussed last time, when I told you we had a pre-con, they were gonna try to do full width instead for safety reasons on getting trucks around equipment. So the last I knew, they were gonna close and start on the west end and work their way east. They figured they could probably do one lift in a day, do the second lift the next day. The only time people really be kind of blocked out is when that asphalt's trying to cool down. So I think they've got it worked out. They'll do door hangers or tell the neighbors what's going on when they come through. Salt shed is getting erected today. I don't know if they'll get the tarp on it today. I mean, it'll be a good day. It's calm out, but they're putting the frame up right now. And then we did send out bids for trucks. We need to kind of get back into getting some equipment again. The last thing we bought was a motor grader. As the lead time on trucks and equipment is going to be a ways out, we probably won't be paying for them until next fiscal year. I'm not guaranteeing that. It could come sooner, but the way the market's been, it seems like there's a long lead time. If it comes sooner, we'll figure out what we'll do then, but we need to kind of get on the list to start getting some equipment. So we're not specifically sticking with Mac. We're bidding out Western Star, Freightliner, Mac, and I think Peterbilt. And then we're also going to do look at Henderson equipment and also the Monroe equipment we've been using with Chris Steele equipment. So they can bid, the snow equipment can bid separate, the truck people can bid separate, or if they want to do the package together, they can include that. So we'll probably get those bids in next Friday, and then I'll take a look at them, kind of evaluate, and maybe we can review it Tuesday, maybe not, depending on how long it takes to look through that stuff. But we're ordering 4 trucks. I'm doing it both. We're in Mitchell County, so 2 trucks here and 2 trucks there. So we'll see what they come up with. Last I had a conversation with a representative, the Allison Transmissions, their allotment for that dealer at least was, their allotment of Allison Transmissions was sold out in 4 days. So they've got other packages, Detroit and things like that. But we need equipment, and we always can't, it's crazy what they've got an allotment and that's what they get, so.
Are they automatic though?
Well, the other ones will be a manual automated, so it won't be a specific Allison automatic, but it'll be an automated manual, I think is what they call some of them other ones, so. But we'll see what they give us for maybe some of these other dealerships can still get their allotment of Allison transmissions too, so we'll see what we get, but just kind of an FYI there. And then last week we got an email that the CHBP program, the one that built the bridge over by Grafton on Folsom Avenue, that program's coming back again, and it looks like we've got 3 bridges that qualify. The one bridge is already in that other grant over the bridge south of McIntyre is in another federal grant, but we've got 2 other ones. One of the bridges is east of Otrano on 480th, and the other one is on 430th, little bridge east of Little Cedar. So we'll try to look at those and see what we can come up with to see if we can get in that, if the notification of, we call it NOFO, when that comes out, we'll know a little bit more, but we think it'll be similar to what the last program was. No guarantee we're gonna get it, but it worked last time. We'll see if, we'll try to throw our name in the hat, or name in the hat again and see if we can get another bridge funded federally.
Would they be tied or would they be individual?
Well, we won't probably get 2 bridges. It'll be one of the 2 bridges, because the third one is already obligated in a federal program already. But the bridges will probably be tied. I don't know how they're gonna do it. If they're gonna tie us with another county, this time Worth County didn't have a bridge, so we won't tie it that way, but whether
I meant our 2 bridges, would they be tied where they do both of them, or is it just one or the other?
It's gonna be probably one or the other, as far as I know, because there's 99 counties, and last time we didn't get that. I think it was 66 bridges that qualified last time in that group. So I don't think there were counties that got more than 1 bridge. I won't say that there won't be, but I guess it depends on what people get for estimates for the funding and then how much funding they actually get. But so we'll fill out the questionnaire and the estimate and get that to the grants team end of the week, and then wait for the NOFO to come out, and see what comes. That's all I've got.
Thank you.
All right.
I do have a question, so, were you gone last week?
Yes, it was.
So I just want to clarify, I haven't been out there at Line Kill Road, but I talked to a couple of employees and they thought early next week they would be doing the door knocking or hanging, but maybe they didn't get done at the job.
Well, Heartland was gonna be doing that. I don't know that's kind of on them to make that call, since they changed how the plan was gonna be. So supposedly they're gonna be doing that to notify the landowners in that area prior to they went out there and did some milling last week. I didn't even know they were coming in that early. The last we had talked, it was gonna be early October when they came in to do it. They must have had their projects advance a little bit. So I was kind of surprised when they said they were coming in last week to do some milling, so. But they're gonna notify the adjacent landowners on schedule.
Okay, because I did have 2 contact me on there, and
2 of the landowners?
yeah,
Okay.
and one is quite elderly and can't drive, so her family was gonna make arrangements.
Okay.
So, but I'd like to get back to them.
I'll check with the contractor then and find out what their plan is. I haven't heard anything directly from the contractor.
And the family does know that, I was told like 30 to 45 minutes is about the longest.
Yeah.
They just need to cool it down, roll it twice, and then they
Yeah,
can
and then
drive.
they can probably go out the other way. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's gonna be an inconvenience, but it'll be a pretty quick one. It'd probably be easy, it's probably more convenient to close the whole thing and do it full width for when we don't get a cold joint down the middle. But second of all, they're not trying to weave in and out of traffic. When they get done past that house, it'll be clear traffic to go the other way. And then as they move through, if people are getting out, I wouldn't say most people, but we're trying to set it up that if there's a school bus that runs there or people are going to work, they can get out before we get before the paving starts, and then hopefully by the end of the day, they're able to get back to their properties. Even if they're still working, there's still access. So, but yeah, it could, depending on the temperatures outside, it could be 30 to 45 minutes.
Thank you,
But I'll get with the contractor and find out when they plan on it for sure.
appreciate it.
All right,
Thanks, Rich.
thank you.
Discussion and possible action on county service building room occupant.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I am here today just to see, I did send you guys an email. I had a company, Avalon Center, it's a mental health company, based out of Charles City, also has offices in Mason City. We've been working together, to provide a licensed mental health therapist, here in Mitchell County. So that's different from what we currently have there from Prairie Ridge. That's a mental health, prescriber. So two different aspects. Avalon will accept all insurances. They also have a sliding scale fee for private pay based income. There's no finalized date of what day they'll be in the office. It will not be Thursday because that's currently the same room Prairie Ridge will be using. So Prairie Ridge uses that room on Thursdays. So they were thinking up to 2 days a week, not a finalized date as of yet until they got approval to use that room or not. The time that they'll be there is 9 in the morning until 4 when our building closes. And when I did have conversations with them, they do serve many individuals here already in Mitchell County, and they're finding those barriers, now with school starting, and individuals having difficulties getting to therapy sessions. They're seeing those barriers where people are canceling their appointments. And so having them right here in Mitchell County would be nice too, to serve our residents. But we would utilize that same office as what Prairie Ridge is using right now over there. I did talk to Prairie Ridge about this. There is no conflict of interest at all with that. They're super excited to have them on board if you guys allow, just because that referral process will be great for them to have a therapist right there too. So, yeah, I was seeing if that would be okay for you guys to allow them in that room too. I don't know, we didn't vote last time on this, I don't think. So I don't know if we need a vote. There is an agreement that I did send you guys that was put out by Avalon. They do this in all their areas. They have agreement with whoever they partner with. And so I will need that signed today, so I don't need to know if you guys need a motion or anything like that on that either, but do you have any questions? I do have an update too on Prairie Ridge. So they've been there now the end of August, I believe. And they currently are there only half the days. They're getting booked up. So they are moving October 17th. They will be going full days from 9 to 3, except for that first Thursday of every month. It'll be 11:15 to 3:30. So they are seeing a huge increase in numbers already within the month for that. One request I do have that they do ask, and it'll be nice for us too, is if both these entities, Avalon and Prairie Ridge, can have a key just to access that door, because they lock their door at the end of the day. They want to get in it, so they're always searching for an employee over there to unlock their door for them. So it'd be nice for them to have a key so they can enter on their own and kind of come and go with their keys and lock it up when they're done too, because then they're searching for us at the end of the day. Hey, can you guys lock this up for us too? So that would be one nice thing for them to have, is a key just to their door.
They don't need a key for the building though, because it ties with your guys' schedules. That's not an issue.
No.
Yeah. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
We have a motion, I should do a motion then? Yeah.
It's up to you there.
Yeah. Probably should have done.
If you want to, yeah, okay, I'll approve what do we got titled here? I'll approve the contract agreement for services assessment / counseling / therapy agreement.
The motion is our second.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
And I Googled Avalon and they're 501c3.
Yeah,
So
yes.
no profit.
Yes, no problem. They are not, no.
Just one question. Do we want to add in Jim's motion anything about the key? in the future, we went back and we did approve giving both entities, right?
Just because they are separate prayers
Yeah.
and.
I don't know too, but that's.
No, change your,
Yeah, I'll just say what I said, and with the option of providing the key to the room that they will be using.
is there a lock there now? They need me.
The key is, their door is locked.
Oh, there is a.
Yes, there is a lock on it, so we unlock it, we have a master key to all the doors, so I don't want to give them a master key.
No.
So I don't know, if you have keys too, there's some individual doors,
Yeah.
so if we can make a couple copies, and if you give it to us, we can donate them too. That'd be great.
Yeah, I didn't know if that already had the lock on
It does, yeah.
So we don't have to add a.
And they don't store files over there or anything, because they take it, it's all computerized now, it's just, they have a vital sign kit over there. And then there'll be some toys for that for the therapist, for those children as well too. Just nice to have that privacy and being able to lock that door when they leave, so no one's entering their space.
Yep.
So
Did we put a button in there, or are they gonna be on the computer?
I don't know what's the panic button
We
situation.
didn't get a panic button for that, with the idea that individual entities, if they wanted a panic button, they would have to buy the panic button. But if they have a computer, it could be put on their computer.
And they all do, well, Prairie Ridge does bring their computer over. I would assume Avalon would too, so I will talk to them. I'll talk to Prairie Ridge on Thursday, and then when I email Leah back with this contract, I will talk to her about that too.
Sure.
And they weren't sure on therapists who they were gonna send, they had a couple in mind, but weren't going to pinpoint it until everything was finalized here, so.
All right, got a motion, is there a second?
I'll second that again.
Michael, second, any other discussion?
Roll call. Todd,
Hi.
Jim,
Aye.
Sydney,
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rachel, did you want a copy of this or I did or? Okay, all right. Thank you guys.
All righty, discussion of possible action on infill lot application.
Hello again. All right, so one new application for the info lot program, Rachel Underbeck and Jason McKenna. Our project site address is 2917 440th Street in Riceville. The amount requested is $10,000. Mitchell County Demolition Company is Lois Construction. Looks like they're living out of the county right now, so this would also bring them to the county. They provided everything that I need, all the documents. I shared those with you as well, but I have everything that I need. Everything looked good. You guys have designated a total of $200,000 to the program to date, and so currently the balance is $52,065.
Very good. A motion to approve the, infill lot application.
Move to approve.
Have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. Any other discussion?
roll call. Mark,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Sydney,
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have approved liquor license for Bouquets Rustics.
I'll move to approve liquor license for bouquets and rustics.
I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any other discussion?
roll call. Sydney,
Aye.
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Todd,
Aye. All right, next we have approved liquor license for Lucky Wife Wine Slushies. They're out of Riceville for a 5-day application. Motion for that?
I'll make a motion for that.
A motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion?
roll call. Todd,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Sydney,
Aye.
Passes. Items of note, meetings attended.
Had 2 meetings, Rich Soil and Water Conservation District meeting. Items of note were the soil health event will be in Chickasaw County this winter, probably late February is kind of what they're thinking. We received two applications for the Rock Creek watershed position in regards to that job. Doing the interviews for that. There's, for the cover crops, there's remaining funding for 2 applications. And, for the tillage apps, there's a small amount of money remaining to, fulfill the amount that's available for that. On the Ramsey farm, there's an area that's about 150 by 150 that's got a bunch of steel. There's an old trailer house that at one time was pulled out there. There's trees growing up and it's kind of a mess, and they want to get it cleaned up, possibly when things freeze up, but also before we get a lot of snow also. Update on the water sampling, proposing to sample 4 times rather than the 7 times to reduce cost and feel they can still get the same amount of data by doing that. These other locations then would be a random type sampling, so it's not that we wouldn't do them anymore. It's just trying to shuffle things around in order to be able to maintain costs and still know what our data is. Ongoing conversation in regards to comparing that data to local soil conservation practices and thoughts on using a local drone for inspection of some of these to see what we're doing is working. Had an executive committee NICOG meeting. Was a special one that was called. This has a little something to do with what Jenny was talking about also. So the NICOG Housing Trust Fund is there's $511,166. They're applying for that, and that's to what that money is used for is to do home renovations and improvements and stuff like that. And as I've mentioned in the past, there seems to be a need for contractors in order to do these services. So there's money available. We need contractors to do it. In order to get that, they do have $46,000 in committed donations. There needs to be a match also. They don't just send that money. There's $46,000 available, but we needed to meet in order to approve a resolution for an additional $81,792,000. So that the total of those two equal the $127,792. That's the match. So we approved the resolution in a very short meeting. So that's all I had.
I had none.
I had a North Iowa Community Action Organization board meeting, and one of the things they're looking at is different health insurance. The premiums went up considerably. They're self-insured, I think up to 75,000, but they went over some last year. So they're searching into that, and they're applying for a grant for Head Start, early Head Start for $3,907,000, which doesn't really affect Mitchell County any. It's all sort of Boyd County pretty much for the early Head Start. But otherwise, they went over the regular contracts and contract amendments. Audit committee had no issues, so pretty much that. That's the only meeting I had.
I had none.
I had a FMC DCAP meeting, went over the FY25 contract and financials. Youth diversion services rate increased 10%, went from $600 to $660. Had another talk on realignment updates. Pretty much they have the same map as what we have, and see where that takes us. Then I had an MCEDC meeting with Jenny, talked pretty much about. And then I happened to run into Heather with Maple Inn, Autumn Artistry. Had a nice talk with her on it. Hoping for a December completion. Retail, both the Maple Inn and the Art Shoes are close. She does have interest in them, but they're just kind of waiting to see what they're gonna look like a little bit. They're all sheet rock and everything, but they wanna do some other, the interested people wanna kind of see a little more done before they make any commitments. So that was a nice talk that hopefully, because there's a lot of interest in the apartments above too, so.
Very good.
That was it.
All right. Public comment? Comment? We'll adjourn the meeting at 9:21.